Hi, this is Blinky, broadcasting almost live from the Boscoyo Broadcast Studios. You're listening to the second season of the Professional Triers podcast.
Oh, yeah!
Remember to like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. And now here are your hosts, the Professional Triers.
All right, so here we go. JR is going to add the intro, right, JR, because he's sick and he's at home. Hopefully he ain't got the Rona. But I have invited Amy with us today. She is huge into Halloween, as you can see by her background, and Christmas. She also does the Tuesday night brew tank, the midweek brew tank, and then she's always jumps in and says hi on Friday. Part of the Merry Makers Christmas game show that we're kind of doing off and on. I don't know if that's going to switch to Tuesday night or if it's going to stay on Friday night, but go check us out on the brew tank. You can catch that link in the Holiday Lighting Think Tank Facebook page. So hi, Amy.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going good. It's been a busy, hot, stinking day up here. I think we were upper 80s, so we were dying.
Yeah, I'm not sure how hot it got today. I know it's maybe low 80s.
Yeah. Oh, we're supposed to be in the 90s for a couple days, and I gotta do some ditch work because I want to make my ditch in front of my house. It's about 300 foot long. I'll make that into a parking area, and I just scored a bunch of PVC to do that with. So I don't know if I'm gonna do it tomorrow or not. I might have to cool down. So
yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because we just watched An American Pickle on HBO, and
I don't think
basically it's about an immigrant, and he was in his home country. He was a ditch digger.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll be the pickle in the ditch. I was just excited because I got to lay some. Anyways, well, heck, let's just get right into this. So, Amy, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm 34 years old. I've lived in Ohio all my life. Lived in Dayton for the last 8 years. But it wasn't until recently that I actually lived in a neighborhood where I could do, decorations. So, last part of town was not the best kind of side of Dayton. So.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So, married, children. I know you always talk about your other half, your wife. So
yeah, I'm married to my wife, Kara. We don't have any kids, although it may be down the road later, but we haven't really kind of decided on that yet.
Cool. Yeah, it's definitely an experience. So we already know where you live. What do you do for a living? I know you work in IT.
Yep, I work in IT for a major hospital network.
Sweet. Yeah, I have that link still sitting on my webpage. I'm like, don't close out that webpage. I clicked on it and they want like $15, but I got to register and see what it is. So, yeah. But I got the big screen up there with a big old matrix on it that I'm working on. So, so how long have you had a Christmas light display? I think you kind of already alluded to that.
So Christmas light display, this is going to be my second year doing an animated display. But along the same lines, I've had a Halloween display for the last 4 years.
Nice.
So I've had a Halloween display longer than I've had Christmas. I'm one of those weird people where I was one of those haunters you see at Trans World that decided to get into Christmas lights.
Oh, sweet. So, right on. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah. That's cool. Somebody moved to I'm going to say the light side because I think Christmas is a little dark. So, Halloween's a little dark maybe. So moved to the lighter side of it, more jolly. So, what was your inspiration to get into this hobby? You kind of alluded to that with Trans World. And how long did it take you to actually start? to get into the building process of your lights?
So about 5 years ago, I saw, I think it was 5 years that he posted it. Matt Johnson's like intro type thing, showing all his different props, how he built them, and how he got all that together. And my wife at the time was like, "Hey, that's really cool. We should, one of these days we should do this." Well, of course, that's stuck in the back of my mind, and I'm like, okay. And we got into this nicer neighborhood. I'm thinking, well, I can do that now.
Hmm.
So that's kind of how I got started, was just watching Matt Johnson. I've always been interested in the technology side of everything.
Yeah, and for the record, I think Combat George may be coming a close second, but I do believe Matt Johnson has the cleanest garage in the hobby.
And mine is the dirtiest.
oh, I don't know. We we might have to compare notes. I got a 34 by 34 garage, and you got to walk over stuff. Except, well, not even right now. You got to walk over stuff because I got stuff in the wife's parking spot, and that's a no-no. And I get reminded of that every time she gets home. She can't park.
My wife hasn't been able to park in our garage for a year and a half.
Oh, jeez. Mine's only been since the VCS. I still got crap laid out there, and I'm like, well, if you're not going to park there, I'm going to start building my arch there. So, so tell me something, and this will be kind of easy. I think the only people that know you are Tuesday night and Friday night brew tank. But tell us something about yourself and the hobby that nobody knows.
Myself and the hobby, well, no, well, I don't know. I would say that with the Halloween side of everything that I kind of alluded to, not everyone knows about that. I've been a haunter for almost 20 years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I obviously came from that side of things, and then I developed. So besides that, I'm also into paranormal. So I'm part of a paranormal team.
Oh.
So we get to all those creepy places.
Stop recording. My daughter uses that. She got an app or whatever on her phone, and she messes with my son all the time with that. So there's something moving in her room. I know that's a little off kilter.
Yeah, we don't use apps.
I thought they were all based on that.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
A lot of it is talking into an empty room.
Yeah.
And going over the audio later.
Is there any receiving of the?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. So sometimes we'll get it on the recorder. Sometimes you'll hear it. Like I've done tours where I used to do tours also, like at places like Bobby Mackey's, and where I'd be like, hey, can you do something for them? Do what, whatever. And they're asking questions, and I just hear in my left ear, and it was whispered, no.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh,
and I'm like, okay.
You're giving me chills, kid.
Well,
Okay, so Transworld 2021 in Vinny's room. We're gonna have a little sit down.
Okay, there you go. And I plan to be there, so
I should probably let Vinny know. All right, so that's the first block of questions. The next thing we're gonna do is called Flashpoint. And what we'll do is have you go through, and you can use your Halloween mixed in with your Christmas show if you like, but we want to know controllers, pixels, pixel type, voltage, FPP, or the software that you use, pigtails, whole 9 yards. All right, so JR, cue up Flashpoint.
Hi, this is Blinky, and now it's time for our favorite segment, Flashpoint. As fast as you can, tell us all about the details of your display.
The Pixel Pro Display Sequence Club is the only club that pays for itself. Here are just some of the benefits of becoming a member. Each month, you will receive a free, original sequence programmed by the pros at PPD to take your display to the next level. Access to weekly X-Lights effects presets, which you can use in your own sequences or modify to create your own unique effects library. Access to the PPD affiliate discount program, getting up to 15% off or more from over a dozen of our PPD partners. So visit us on the web today at pixelprodisplays.com and also find us on Facebook at Pixel Pro University. Pixel Pro Displays. What can Pixel Pro Displays do for you?
Go.
Go.
Oh, yeah, go. Fire away.
All right, so I have I have 4 controllers. I have an Alpha Pix 4, an F16 version 3, a Falcon Pi hat, and an FPP remote. I use X-Lights for my sequencing, and I use FPP for my show controller. I use 12-volt pixels. I have about 3,000 now, up from 350 last year. And I'm using X-Connect for everything.
Right on. So, yeah, I had JR cue that up because he's not with us. So I'm going to send him this, and he gets to edit it tonight. So before he goes to bed, hopefully he's not already in bed. He's super busy, so not feeling good. All right, so this is the secondary content. We'll kind of get a little bit deeper into your show and stuff. So what would you say is your most popular prop?
So I'm going to go toward the Halloween side for this. I would say it would be my pumpkins. Last year I had a pumpkin patch, not the one pictured behind me, but a different one that was, I ended up using pixels inside of all the pumpkins, separated out by about 6 feet of wire between each pixel.
Nice.
And I can control each light in the pumpkins. So I had the lights in the pumpkins dancing with the music, and I could do flame effect, in the pumpkins real easy. It looked really cool.
Oh, that does sound really cool. So where did you get that idea from? Or how did it come to you? All up in the noggin. I love that.
It was in the noggin. Like I said, I've been in the hunt industry for almost 20 years. So
yeah,
things come to mind, I just do them.
When I first met you, were you trying to do, or did you do the mapped faces on pumpkins? Were you working on that?
Oh, yeah. So I guess I totally forgot about those. And that
I pulled that from, it was like right here.
So originally, and actually that is the star of my Halloween show, can't believe I forgot about it.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Right?
That's my journalism specialty, is bringing up old crap. So
and actually it makes sequencing, buying sequences, because I'll be honest, I don't have time to actually sequence. But it makes buying sequences harder because of these things. I have from the Singing Pumpkin, I have their version of the songs where they have like 3 pumpkins and they're singing to popular songs, like Thriller and all those other, not the popular Halloween songs. So, and my when I started the display last year, my thought is that I wanted to accentuate those 3 pumpkins. I wanted the house to actually do something with them.
Yeah, very cool. Cannot believe you didn't.
Kind of like a pop concert, right? Yeah. If you had just lights on and then the band singing in the front of it, nothing else is happening, then the crowd would have a good time, but
makes it all the more.
it makes it a little bit more. So,
So have you ever had neighborhood troubles with your display? And if so, how did you handle it?
actually, in this neighborhood, I've never had any issues. I talk to my neighbors at the beginning of each year and at the end too to get their feedback. But at the beginning of each year, I say, okay, I'm going to be doing my display now. You know, do you guys have any issues? What time do you want me to stop the display? Because I go a little bit later. I know a lot of people will stop their display at like 9. I stop my display at like 10:30.
Yeah.
But I also try to talk to my neighbors and try to keep it to where my lights aren't going all over the place. They're trying to keep them toward my yard.
All right, very cool. Well, tell us about the evolution of your display going from Halloween into Christmas then.
So as far as the display goes, I decided last year that I wanted to have, because I did static display, you know, like any other house out there. But I decided last year, since I was going to get into the animated lights for my Halloween, and I was going to be spending so much money getting the Halloween side up, that it only made sense for me to, because I already had a lot of the stuff up, to go ahead and cross that over to a Christmas display.
Mm-hmm.
And last year, like I said, 350 pixels is not a lot. My display last year consisted of 6 floodlights. And then I had a roof line, and then I had the lights that I had for my pumpkins. I actually reused those lights into a line of luminaries going across the front yard.
Cool. So if you were just starting your display totally clean slate all over again, what would you do? What would you do different?
I don't know. I think probably add more props
To start with?
to start with. One of the comments I got from one of my neighbors is she thought that there was something wrong with my lights because they were flickering and flashing and all this. and I like,
turn on your radio.
yeah, turn on your radio.
It's like opens up a whole nother dimension when you turn on the radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was probably the main thing.
Yeah.
And then,
so
if money wasn't an issue, I would have a whole lot more.
What's that now?
Said if money wasn't an issue, I would have a whole lot more. But I think that's true for anyone.
Oh yeah, I think that goes without saying. Yeah, I won't tell you what is coming in the mail. So moving on. If you could travel anywhere in the world, what 3 shows would you love to go see in person?
I think I would want to see. Well, Matt Johnson, I don't think has a at-home show anymore.
I think he does a drive-through now.
Yeah, but honestly, just basically, you know, I would want to see Benny's, especially Benny's drive-through. Want to see JR's.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know the third.
You just say me if you want it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
It's Brian. But that's because you know, especially from, you know, professional drivers themselves, you know, listening to the podcasts, you know, it helped, you know, trying to come up with ideas and learn about what I'm supposed to be doing. Just like this year is the first year where I'm actually having to do power injection. So I needed help with that. It's just, but no, it's just, you know, you guys are my friends, and so I would, of course, want to go see my friends' displays.
Well, you didn't have to say me, so I just figured you need help with that third one. So
Oh,
I
thanks.
want to go down and see
I,
Big Does.
it was in the back of my mind to say you, anyways.
You know what? I don't care where I go and whose show I go see, as long as I can sit outside in a lawn chair with an adult beverage and watch the Christmas show.
Yeah.
I can't do that up here. I got to sit in my truck. The engine's running, the heater's blowing, the stereo's blaring. If I go out and walk around and stuff, it's only for a short amount of time. But to go out and then just sit and appreciate the display, just relax and, lawn chair, life is good. So that's my favorite thing in the world.
I think one of the things I would love to do, and especially now that we're getting a trailer, eventually it may happen, is I would love to take a month-long trip and just go and visit the different things.
Yeah,
The only difference is I would have to work remote.
I might know somebody that might be doing that this year. So that would be really that would be awesome. And I've even joked with JR, I said, shoot, I'm going to stop having my show and just travel the countryside and help people set up for the Great Christmas Light Fight. They just got to room and board me, and I will work for them as long as it takes every day. And I think that would be awesome. I don't think my family would appreciate me being gone from, October, November to December. So, but yeah, I think that would be super cool. So it's just travel around and help people, help them out. Especially, somebody that's laid up and they're not sure if they're going to get their show up because they have, a certain injury or something, go there and just be that third hand,
Right.
So what, excuse me, that snuck up on me. Not Rona, bad habit cough, but I gotta say that when I walk through the grocery store, be like, not Rona. So,
is there a way to separate the two windows apart 6 feet?
Yeah, we are way too close here. Well, I got us narrowed so we're top and bottom. So,
Oh, sorry.
so I keep looking up because that's where you're at. So,
Okay.
So what tips would you have for somebody? I know you're still new, I'm still new, but what tips would you have for somebody brand spanking new coming into the hobby?
Don't be afraid to ask questions, even if it sounds stupid.
Amen. Definitely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because
that's number one.
Yeah.
You're putting so much money into this. If it's better to ask a question and sound dumb than not to ask the question and get blue smoke.
Yeah.
Or have a fire because you did something wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Oh my gosh.
But also take your time and learn. Like I said, when Matt Johnson's show, I learned about that. I did two things. Actually, like the 3 years even before I started my display, there was a couple times where I downloaded X-Lights and played with it, and took it off because I was like, I can't figure this thing out. And then I did things like I downloaded like Vixen, and I took that off because I was like, I can't figure this out either. So play around. Especially you don't have to start your display. The very first year you figure it out, find out, hey, I can do something like this. Download the software, play with it. Go get on some of the Zoom chats, out there. Get on the Brew Tank. Get on to the X-Light support. There are people out there that are willing to help you.
Oh yeah, definitely. And when I was coming into the hobby, like the first 6 months of the year, I would be on the Existentials and I would watch all the Existentials. And after the Existentials, I'd be on there until I don't know how long, just listening to other people's issues And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I think I might have that issue. So, I would be paying attention to that. And then I don't even think I said anything for the longest time, just listening in, going through the existentials, listening to the questions and answers. And then last year, Gary Hahn had a question in there, and he got like bombarded with answers ranging, just overload of information. And I'm like, hey, I sent him a message. Let me pull you aside and tell you what I did. I kind of wanted to pay it forward. He was my pay it forward guy. So I helped him out a lot. He still used the forums. If I didn't have the answer, by all means, I went to the smart people that I know to get the answer, and just went from there. So, and that was really cool. This year he's still gearing for Halloween. He does a huge haunted house in his backyard and through his garage in town. And then as soon as that's over, then it's go time on his display. So
and that's my ultimate goal, is to do a haunted house in my backyard.
Oh yeah. Yep. That's what he does. So it goes his driveway through to and from, or to and through and back. I don't know even how you'd say it, but you got 2 tunnels in the garage, and it goes out in the backyard, and goes through a whole maze of stuff back there and then back out. I haven't been to it because I'm not the Halloween guy. But I worked on a haunted house years and years ago, and that was about as much as I've ever done for Halloween. So I might put like 3 pumpkins in the window and shut the porch light off. But but that's about it. But as soon as Halloween is over for him, then it's crunch time for his display. So we're getting a lot of stuff set up for that. So what do you think would be the next must-have prop?
My next must-have prop is probably going to be the mesmerizer.
Ooh, 1136.
Yeah, density.
Yeah,
it is going to be the word for next year. I've already decided that I'm going to double my mega tree. Right now I'm doing a 1650 mega tree. I want to change it to a 3250 mega
nice.
tree. I want to right now I have 2 matrices that cover the windows right now in the front of my house, which those have 2-inch spacing on those. I'm only about 25 feet away from the street, but I've decided that either I'm going to go with panels in each window, or and if I do that, all the pixels that were in the matrix will go in the mesmerizer. Or I'm going to increase the density to 1-inch spacing.
Nice. Okay. Wow. I go out to my driveway, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go like way out to the road, and I'm still 75 feet away from the road. So when you say 25 feet, I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know how easy that would be. But then there's people out there that have, a 25, 50 foot, 30 foot area. And they're like, man, if I had 250 feet, what they could do with it, it takes a lot to fill that stuff in.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like I'm talking about a mega tree. This is going to be my first year for a mega tree in my yard. I have the challenge, and you've seen it. I have a giant oak tree in the middle of my yard that I have to contend with. So I can't put a traditional mega tree in my yard because it will, mess with the oak tree. So instead, I'm actually building, I like to call it a reverse mega tree. Just on the way the pole is. The pole is actually going to come down from the tree. It's going to be attached to the tree, hanging down 3 feet to the top plate. I'm going to have all the strips, staked down on the ground. So to build the mega tree.
That sounds cool. That sounds
I'm looking forward to the end product.
Well, see, you're doing an inverted tree. I'm doing a laying down tree. So we're going to have very different types of trees out there this year. Because I started with the 16 by 50, and then I went 75 by 16. This year I'm going to 100 by 16, but my goal is to do 100 by 32 all the way across. So, and then my other 3 trees, they kind of grow along with the main tree, and then that gets moved over, and then that tree gets moved over here, and then I was like, oh, hey, I have an extra tree, so I'm gonna lay it down and make a tunnel out of it. So I'm doing a photo op tunnel to be in the tunnel, pixels going in instead of out, but they're gonna go in and they can take a picture of being part of the show. So I think that would be super awesome.
I'm looking forward to seeing that picture.
Yeah, I'll be the first one out there with my whiskey in my coffee in hand and staying warm. So, so this is my most favorite question because I always think back to my awkward moment, but what is your most awkward interaction you've had with one of your guests viewing your show?
Honestly, we don't usually go out while the show is going on.
What?
I know we're weird like that. But I think the most awkward interaction was from my neighbor that I was just mentioning earlier, where she was like, yeah, I think something's going wrong with your show. It's just, it's flashing and lights are going on and off.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to do that?
See that sign? Tune to that.
That would be a very good one. So last question with this. How is your show unique? What are some of your favorite props that you have or you want to have for your show?
Let's see. So I don't know how my show's unique, other than, just the unique challenges that every show has. Every location's different.
Right.
Mine's kind of on a shoestring budget. I buy a little bit every year, but as far as unique, I think having like the pumpkins, the way I do the pumpkins is a little bit unique because they don't really make pixels to do that with.
Right.
To have, to light up each pumpkin, which, and I would actually say that those are probably my favorite props in the whole, that I've made. As far as props that I want in my show, eventually I would like to do some piece stakes, because I think that would show a lot of movement.
Really cool effects you can do with them.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And I have a sloped yard, so I don't know, that might even look a little bit cooler. So,
oh yeah, definitely. It gives
like
it a little bit more. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts.
And everybody should have a budget for their show, and I do, but it's normally blown by July, but and then there's a whole list of other stuff. I do.
Your budget, you add 500.
Okay, let's say 500.
For my wife, I'll just say 500.
There you go. Okay, there you go. All right, so that takes care of, I don't even want to call it the serious stuff, but that's the first two. Now we're just going to get into some rapid fire, and although...
Hi, it's Blinky again, and now it's time for our fan favorite, rapid fire questions.
Once again, the Professional Triers Holiday Lighting Show has raised the bar, teaming up with another awesome sponsor, Zazzle, to provide you, our VIP listeners, with some cool, awesome, one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear, including the Hot or Not shot glass, the Blinky Flashy Lowdown notebook, the Professional Triers Blinky Gear beer stein, the ever-so-popular David Peace Not a Vendor t-shirt, the must-have Robert Petty Make Rock Great Again t-shirt, the one-of-a-kind Jordan Nash
Do you like my decorations?
t-shirt, and of course the must-have Professional Triers Blinky t-shirt, and much, much more. You can even create your own one-of-a-kind Professional Triers gear. So go to trierswag.com, that's TRIERSSWAG.com, and get your Professional Triers gear today.
JR is not here. I am going to ask some that he asks every time. So he normally starts it off. So which toothbrush color?
White.
White. Powered or manual?
Howard. It's Sonicare.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's go to one of mine. So if you could have a superpower, what would it be and why?
Oh, I would have to say flight.
Flight?
Yep. Not only would it make it a whole lot easier, for my display, but man, it would make traveling a whole lot easier. Being around.
Getting around, heck yeah. So this is one of JR's, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. If Windows made a car, could you buy apples at the grocery store?
Of course. Because apples are a fruit.
But could you carry Apple in a Windows vehicle?
Yeah, but, it may have some compatibility issues.
You know what his normal one is for that, right?
Yes.
If Apple made a car, would it have Windows? Yeah.
And yeah.
I've always thought
and no, it would have Gorilla Glass.
Gorilla Glass. So they wouldn't technically be called Windows, they'd be Gorilla Glass portals.
Yeah, something like that. They would come up with some sort of fancy word for,
It's an iLook.
Porthole.
It's an iLook.
iLook.
All right. If peanut excuse me, gosh. If peanut butter wasn't called peanut butter, what would it be called?
Peanut spread.
Peanut spread. I like it. Toilet paper, under or over?
Over.
Excellent. You pass.
Any other way is wrong.
Hey, man.
Hey, the patent even has it going over.
I would have to look that
Look
up.
at the patent.
Well, if you look at
paper.
well, no, I guess that if you look at can I say Charmin? Not a sponsor. I learned there's another podcast I watch. Real funny guy. He'll do dad. Love him. Oh my God, he is so good. But he'll bring up, Power Tool or whatever. He'll be like, I use Milwaukee, not a sponsor yet. So so it's awesome. I wanted to throw that in there somewhere. What were we talking about? Oh, the Charmin roll. I think it's laying on its side, so I don't think it's actually in a horizontal. I don't know. We get Angel Saw.
Yeah.
If animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
I would say deer.
Deer?
Mm-hmm.
Like Bambi? Venison?
Yeah, like Bambi. Venison. I don't know. Whenever you see them and they kind of look at you and they see you coming down the road and they jump in front of you.
Miss me, motherfucker!
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's a skit with that too, with another YouTube that I watch. And now I can't think of any of JR's. All right, back to me. What would be the creepiest thing you could say to somebody as you passed them on the sidewalk?
I don't know. I've said a lot of creepy things in my life. Haunted.
There you go.
I don't know. I know where you've been.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. I would have never thought about that. That's an awesome one.
Well, here's the thing. If I saw them coming down the sidewalk, I know where they've been.
Yeah, you saw him come down it. You got to do it in a whisper too, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole effect. If you were arrested with no explanation whatsoever, what would your family assume that you had done wrong? You are thinking hard on that. No, I can't say that. No, I can't say that. Oh gosh, I definitely can't say that one.
I made a mistake.
Can we just mark that down for an oops?
I scared the police officer. That's what it is.
So you got nothing?
No, I said I made I scared the police officer.
You scared the police officer. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay, so JR's normal final question. He's not here to ask it, so I'm going to ask, who would you like to hang out with in a Zoom call? Me or me?
Oh, you. Because you're the only one here.
Waiting to see if anybody comes in. I'll kick him out real quick.
But
no.
To be fair, I mean, JR isn't here, and if he was here, I would still say you because yeah.
I tell you what, it was.
You both are fun. You both are fun to hang out with. I don't know. It would be a hard one.
Oh, that's cool.
Hard to decide.
Yeah. Well, I went over there and hung out for a week and a half, so I enjoyed it. I had a good time. So hot during the day, but it was cold at night. I didn't understand that. I was just plain chilly at night. But that's all I got. Do you want to throw anything out there for anybody listening? If we have I think 5 listeners now, I think we're up to.
Ooh, 5.
We got to throw Bobby out there because Bobby he's been listening. So, and
he is a dedicated listener.
He definitely is. So, and I know there's more out there, but I don't ever hear from you. Always ask people to put stuff in the comments. So what should we have them put in the comments? I try to keep an eye on it, but there's normally nothing in there.
I don't know. I'm thinking about that one. I
want to talk to another haunter and add some questions for the haunted display and then the Christmas display. So if you're a haunter, if you do all that, I might try to get Ace on there because I know but he doesn't have a Christmas show quite yet. So he's the one that I'm working on that does the.
There's a guy in Dayton close to me that does both a Halloween and a Christmas show as well. That I had no clue, and I'm skipping on his name. I'll just say he's on Whip Road. So if you're listening,
hopefully he's the 6th listener.
Yes, the 6th listener. But no, I thought it was cool because a lot of the other displays that I know about, I think there's only like 3 or 4 pixel displays in Dayton.
Mhm.
The rest are LOR using good old-fashioned Christmas lights
Yeah.
and the mega strands and everything else. I think I called that right. But the mega strands where you have like the 4 different colors and
Oh, is that AC?
either way.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh,
Sure.
something that I forgot to bring up and I was going to say this at the beginning, and I'm so excited. Montana is going to have its very first virtual mini, very first mini for that matter. With thanks to VCS, I've gotten in contact with some guys that signed up with that knew some guys that did LOR and stuff. So I have a Facebook group for the Big Sky lighting fanatics. So we are going to have our very first mini virtual. So if you're a vendor and you listen, hey, send me some stuff. So for them, I got enough stuff for right now. But yeah, so, and I did make a crack about that on Friday Night Brew Tank, and I think Ryan Hunter was it Ryan? I think he came out and said, "Don't you mean a micro? Are you going to have like 3 people there?" We might be up to 10, so I'm very excited about that. So
No, I think he's thinking of Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska's up to what, 5 people?
they might. I think. Oh, you know what? If we combine the LOR shows, I think I could top Nebraska's with the Montanas, because there's 5 of us, 6 of us. Sorry, 6 there that have X-Light shows or is doing an X-Light show. I got 2 that it's their first year, one in Billings and one right here in town. And then one just south of me that's been doing it using X-Lights for 3 years. I had no idea until the virtual Christmas. I don't think he did X-Lights around the world last 2 years, but he did ask me, he's like, "Dude, are you like the one from Great Falls?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I saw you in the X-Lights around the world." And I'm like, "Yeah, that was me." My little display. So it was cool. It was fun. So that's all I got. I just wanted to, because I was super excited about that. We're trying to nail down a date and time that we can do it. And thank you to David Peace, the SoCal group, giving me the idea to do a virtual mini. So it's pretty cool. But
Yes.
it was awesome. So I am signed up to do that.
All right.
If he lets
Anyways,
me
you
in.
know, since we're at the end, I will say that I've not had either In and Out, or was it Runza burgers, but yeah. So if either of them want to send me a burger from either place, I'll try it and I'll let them know which one's better.
You know, and the California people are going to hate me for this. David Peace is going to hate me for this, but because I was there, SoCal, last September, we had Runza's, right? First place we went at, or not Runza, oh my gosh, In and Out. As soon as we got off the plane, it was like the first place. We had our luggage and everything with us at In and Out. And seeing that line that went all the way down and around, and you know what? To sit in line that long, it's not worth it. I could walk across the street and get a Whopper and be super happy. And if there's a Wendy's, I'll grab a Frosty. I'll get my Whopper. I'll get my fries and my Frosty at Wendy's. And I'll still be done eating before they get their food. So, but nothing beats a Whopper in my book. So maybe I haven't had good stuff.
Hard to say.
What's your favorite place hamburger to go? Your go-to hamburger place?
I don't know if you guys have them over there, but Five Guys.
Oh, heard of Five Guys. We don't have it here, but I've heard of it. We have it in Billings, I think. So
they have pretty good hamburgers.
Yeah. I think that was on the list of best burger places. So,
well, if you're ever this way, we can go to Five Guys.
Right on. Oh, excuse me. I haven't been drinking enough water. Sorry. Alrighty. Well, I'll make sure I unmuted myself. Well, thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate you coming on. I know it was kind of short notice. We wanted to have Robert Petty on tonight because we wanted to talk about his contest that he's running. I thought that would have been super cool. And he let me know this morning that he had rained out yesterday, baseball. And all of a sudden we got thinking, and JR said, well, how about Amy? And I'm like, I'm already texting her. So and I probably shouldn't say that you were second thought of, and I do apologize for that. But thank you very much for doing this at very short notice. I appreciate that. So
No problem.
we
Anyways,
definitely
I don't mind because I did not include you in the three until last minute, so I'll forgive you.
Oh my gosh. Oh geez. All right. We will discuss that further in depth Tuesday evenings.
I understand. And then a little plug on the since we're here, Tuesday nights, usually about 8:30 Eastern time, because I'm Eastern time zone. We do have the brew tank open. There's usually two of us there.
Yeah.
So if you don't have time on Fridays and want to spend some time on Tuesdays, we're here.
Very cool. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.